Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with Lucas Hazan. Lucas is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to scaling consumer products, having built over a dozen businesses across hardware, SaaS, D2C, and marketplaces. He recently left the incubator world to go all in as the founder of Noct, bringing with him a wealth of experience from his past roles driving growth at TickPick and product at Fidelity. He's a master at distribution, a strong believer that resumes are dead, and an operator who plays games where $5 million is just a drop in the bucket. Lucas, welcome to the show.
Pleasure to meet. Appreciate
Pleasure to see you, brother. I hope all is well. What are you building right now?
A lot of things, honestly. I'm very ADHD in that front, but I'm focused on a few consumer brands right now, as well as building just mass media attention powerhouse vehicle. And I can go into more detail on what the fuck that means, but yeah. I started off. Yeah.
What does it mean?
Before this call or before this start, I said I had a coming to Jesus moment of like, where do I want to go with my career? And I wanted to focus on attention. I feel like as apps and software becomes more commoditized, being able to drive distribution in a cost efficient manner is going to be like the most valuable thing possible. Like there was a period where like drop shipping was a massive thing for Shopify. Now apps are like becoming even more commoditized. So the biggest thing is like, yeah.
Attention is basically what everything runs on. Like you're saying drop shipping or politics, TV, everything is on the back of distribution and attention. So that's my belief system too.
Yeah, I mean, like our president was literally like, he won the election in a lot of ways because of just mass media like attention grabbing.
Same with Mandami.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
The people who win in the future from here on out will just be better at distributing than everyone else.
Right. But you still need to create a great product. So I think like my focus is building great products while also being on the forefront of like grabbing attention. And what does that mean from a vehicle? Like paid ads is only getting more expensive, and being able to have efficient ways to get top of funnel brand awareness for your businesses is the most important thing. Because if you can get millions to billions of impressions organically, your CAC and just overall CPMs will be a lot more efficient on paid. And all roads lead back to paid. But if you're starting with paid acquisition as like your main driver or funnel for acquiring users or customers, it's just going to be a bloodbath. Like you see, like I'm on ecom Twitter, and like people are like, how's the like, is everyone else feeling this right now? Like how's it just Meta's like shitting the bed. Like Zuckerberg doesn't care about e-commerce brands. They just care about taking your margin. And like I think over the past year or two, I've learned so much about organic, and like I think that's where I want to double down on, because I think it's only going to become even more valuable in the years to come.
So true. Organic, people ask me my opinions on paid a lot. And I think influence happens through organic. When people, there's something about seeing a lot of views and the social proof inherently in an organic video that drives people to make decisions. So how do you think about, I guess, maybe your marketing mix or your split between organic versus paid for your own company, Noct?
For Noct specifically, I'm running that fully autonomously with just organic content.
Wow.
We're generating millions of views organically at like a 60% profit margin. Like it's very efficient.
You're
I kind of
actually
have the business on autopilot.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's pretty sick. I think my whole overall goal with Happy Labs is to build out a fleet of consumer brands, but I think it's also to double down and scale and super aggressively, but across the way, building out like a bunch of super profitable businesses at the same time to just inherently increase the overall value. Like my whole goal originally was to build um, like just a portfolio of brands, like building out the P&G of like consumer brands or for organic virality brands. Um, but I think I started that initially, that business, without really understanding distribution. So I think that was a much bigger hurdle to go over. But now I have so much knowledge and so much more leverage at this point that I can like I can do anything. Like I can build any brand and like just scale it up very aggressively for organic and then double down on paid. Um, but for Noct specifically, sleep is a very hard category and it's very black and white. So I would almost want to run that more organically and first order profitable versus another business that has like a lot more longevity, daily vitamin mixes and things like that that are like more like 90 days or further out, like CD effects. I think you're able to scale that more on like a month, 2, 3, 4, and 5 payback on CAC. So like just like Grunes or any of those. But yeah.
When you look at organic, what is your main organic strategy? Is it organic UGC? Is it slideshows? Is it AI content at all? I know you don't want to give away too much, but maybe percentages in terms of where you think about putting your time.
Um it really depends on the business. Every business has a different lever when it comes to organic. Some are just more ripe for like slideshow content. Others just rip really easily with organic UGC. Others just do really well with AI. For Noct specifically, we run AI UGC on Facebook, and it just like does very well. Like that's the arbitrage right now in the market. And like our demographics a lot older, like people that are like 55 plus years old. I don't even know if they don't know it's AI content or if they just don't care. I think they just don't care.
I think they don't
But
care either. I was in Miami, and another founder of a gummy that Roberto,
uh,
uh, and we were actually talking about one of those videos, and he was like, Lucas told me this converted like really well, and I was like, no way. You know what I mean? I had
yeah,
never seen AI convert, and again, we don't have to get into too much, but it was funny. It was funny that those were the videos that were converting. So I wonder if dude, I honestly think Facebook and older audiences can't detect that it's AI anymore. To us, it does stand out naturally. I don't think they can tell because my parents send me stuff all the time, and I'm like, is this supposed to be funny, or like I'm not understanding why you're sending this to me. I don't think
yeah.
they could tell.
I I don't I think they just care about the story rather than the actual like what like who it is or what it is. Um
Which
I
is
mean,
super interesting. Like when you think about organic distribution now, I personally think it's more so about the person. Like if we're talking like politics,
yeah.
or how is it really just the story more than the person?
I mean, it's kind of like it's just DR. It's direct response marketing. Like I think it starts with like being problem, like really dissecting the problem of the consumer, and then going down the funnel of like here's problem, how it relates to them, and like here like products that they probably used or different methods of trying to solve that problem, and then having a like a clear solution and a like driving call to action. So I think like there's different ways to attack marketing where like there are authority figures and there's also ones where it's like this is just a head that like a individual that's distributing a message that is clear and resonating with like the problem that me as a person is facing.
Where did you learn to market? Is this mostly from like when you talk about direct response? Are you reading a lot of copywriting books, or are you just learning in the field, or from friends? How do you learn?
Um, I'm friends with a bunch of people in the ecom space from like Robert Young, Luka Washenko, like all these guys that are just cracked ecom guys. Like they're the ones that taught me DR. Like, and then like I just like learn from just doing reading, looking at ad libraries, like just copying, getting inspiration from. Like I think I've never really been the one to like sit down or read like a instruction manual or how to do things. I kind of just like jump in and figure it out as I go.
Dude, it's so funny. I feel like information is such a gap, but if you don't know, you can just check someone's ad library and see what's working for them,
Yeah.
Like it's kind of I'm surprised that more people don't spend all their days in an ad library.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm unique in the sense where I tiptoe a line within the because I come from the software world originally, but then I built a D2C brand like 4 years ago. And like I had come from ecom world now. Um, like knowing one way is knowing no way. Like I like to say it. Like I think being able to see things from a bunch of different perspectives provides like edges that other people may not be seeing. Like knowing the super aggressive direct response marketers on ecom and also what the aggressive drop shippers are doing. Like how are they acquiring users? Like what are the drop shippers doing like with AI content? And then how is that like funneling up to like consumer app founders? What are they doing from organic to paid acquisition? Um, it kind of goes like drop shippers, then ecom founders, consumer app founders to B2B SaaS founders, like as far as like how marketing funnels down, because drop shippers have the least amount of money, so they have to be the most scrappy versus B2B have literally infinite money.
So they can spend as much as they want to acquire a customer, so their creativity is much lower.
Yeah.
Versus some 18-year-old that will do anything to buy a Lamborghini and doesn't have the money yet. He's got to run it up in 2 months.
I mean, it's insane. Like, especially AI UGC, there's people in some of these creator communities that are making like 400, 500K a month off just organic content. It's pretty insane.
You're not talking about actual creators, are you? Or are you talking about like Creators Corner AI, like
Yeah.
those guys?
Talking about like those guys, the Creators Corner, AI UGC, it's like the whole Amazon game, like all like Soursop, and some of these other brands, they're just fucking cooking. Um, it's a whole operation now.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is for sure. I saw Jimmy starting to push the AI content more, and I started
Yeah.
seeing monks on my Instagram talking about products, and I was like, who is doing this? Watching a lot of those AI UGC videos, and they're selling info. Like I was like,
Yeah.
people are combining it's like Thanos with the rings or whatever. People are putting it all
my mom
together.
has sent me some of the videos.
Dude, it's just where we are, and it's
It is.
crazy. So I believe in attention as well. I mean, it's almost weird because it's getting easier for people to push out product, whether that is, I mean, software companies, or normal ecom D2C products or whatever. It's getting easier all the time. So people are just pushing out more stuff quicker instead of taking the extra time and to really develop a good product. So where do you spend your time in terms of, this is something that I know will do well right now versus I'm going to push this product a little bit more because I think it could be even better before you launch?
The time to think of an idea and create the thing is infinitely getting smaller. Like I my first real business was a direct to consumer dog food delivery brand during COVID. And I made it with my dad and we scaled it up to a decent size. But that was like pure like boots on the ground, farmers market style brand, like marketing and influencers in local towns and stuff. Like that took like a good year for me to bring it to the market. And then Noct took me like 8 months, 8 months to get into the market. I think it's it takes time. Like things take time, but then most recent business that took 2 months to come to the market. And then also on the software side, like you learn through just doing. Like I think the best like most founders, they start out like obsessing over the product and like they're like need it to be perfect. And then the second time you build something, you start to like be more focused on distribution. And then the third time you're like, all right, like product's good enough. Let's focus like fully on distribution. Like you need to do a lot of shit and you need to throw a lot of shit at the wall. And like over time you start to realize what to prioritize and what has the most highest impact. And I think like at the end of the day, like you could have the greatest product, but if you don't have any customers, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Versus if you have a shitty product, you'll have trash retention, but maybe you have a great distribution strategy. So like, I think it's a lot easier to create a good product versus like having really good distribution. It's a lot easier to have a really good product and it's a lot harder to crack distribution. But if you can crack distribution and you have an alright product, you can always refine it to make it better.
Yeah, I always kind of recommend people get something to market, like find for consumer apps, by the way, if you're younger and you're trying to get into something, build a consumer app, solve one single pain point, and you don't have to think of any new idea. Go to the app store. This is how I learned from Blake Anderson. And I was like, how did you come up with Cal AI? I was like, I really want to know. And he was like, well, I was looking through the app store for ideas. I saw that MyFitnessPal was crushing, and they never updated their app for AI. Like it was old and manual, and you had to physically do it. Like, so we just make a fitness app and you take a picture and AI analyzes it for you. And he's like, that was it. So consumer app, ironically, there's people doing 500K mil a month, just copying Cal AI fully, like word for word. So yeah, if you're a young kid, I think, probably don't copy something word for word, but understand that, it's not that hard to come up with an idea. Like you really shouldn't spend time on that. Get something to market and start on marketing and distribution, because that game changes all the time, every day. And you want to get up to speed on that as quick as possible, make money with a product that does solve a pain point, and then you can bring on the technical talent or be good enough at distribution where you can go find the technical talent that you need. That's kind of what I did for Artec, our platform. And initially I wanted to push that out quickly, so bad, because I know how important distribution is, especially for that space that it's going to be in. But I looked around at the other products and everything was there. It's all kind of incomplete. Like people are not really taking their time to make great products anymore. Do you like building the more software consumer products, or?
I love building. Like I think building. That is why I do what I do. Like I think I'm a builder at heart. But I think distribution is like, you need distribution. So like in a perfect world where like maybe if money is not an object or just not like something I need to care about, I think I would probably just build a bunch of just random shit. I'm like definitely an inventor, tinker at heart. That's just kind of my thing. But
I love that. I got a list of questions for you, and I want to get into your stuff you're doing for fitness right now as well, because people don't know this, but you've ran a full Ironman, right?
I've done one full Ironman.
One full Ironman. What are you training for right now?
I'm doing a half Ironman in 2 weeks, July 12th in upstate New York.
And you have a girlfriend.
I have a loving girlfriend. She's great.
So you have actually done it. You have the relationship, you have the business, and you have the physical health. People always say, "Oh, you can't do this" or whatever. How are you managing to handle all of that?
I'm just winging life.
I love it.
I definitely, I saw something recently, like if you want it bad enough, you'll have it. I think it's cope when people are like, "Or girlfriend is a distraction." Maybe the person you're with is just not the right partner. My girlfriend's also an entrepreneur as well, so like I think she understands a lot of like just being one herself. Yeah, I mean, she's a beast. She's great.
That probably helps a ton. she first of all has her own stuff going on, which is huge. And then two, you guys do have similar pains day to day, week by week. So, and you could probably bounce ideas off of her and like helps you with your business.
Yeah.
So that's kind of awesome. Because people always ask me, they're like, well, do you really want to date someone that's like an entrepreneur and like a boss? And I'm like, yes, 100%. I've tried the other thing. I really do think you need someone that, you know, it is equally yoked with you. I think that goes beyond, religion. It's also just it's kind of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want a cheerleader. I want a partner. And like, I could see myself building something with her. We made an LLC earlier this year. I made a post on Twitter about getting a co-working spot, and that actually ended up falling through. But yeah, we were like actually looking at buying a warehouse in
That
Oakland.
that spot looked incredible.
It was great, and then we got into the minutia, and it was not great. But then, you know, that's
You
how it
gotta
goes.
come to West Palm. You gotta come to West Palm.
Dude, I
But
am 100%.
do you have desires to be in New York long term, or how do you look at it?
I'll probably always have a place here, either a place in Connecticut or in upstate New York. Um, my family has a place in Florida, so definitely something down south in Florida makes sense too. Um,
I love when you post Connecticut stuff and you talk about unplugging, disconnecting. It's my favorite thing in the world because I can work really hard for a batch. Maybe it's 2-3 months,
yeah,
and then as long as I have something on the calendar where I get to go clear my mind, I can come back like a week later and just have another 2 to 3 months of pretty much laser focus.
dude,
Um,
just go to the woods, go to the
go to the
mountains.
woods. I think that's what you say in your post.
Time by the sea, escape to the woods. Yeah.
Yes, yes, 100%. Um, so, question for you. You have a filter for testing people's worth. Quote, give them a simple task and see if they complete it. What is an example of simple task you use to weed out people that you work with?
It's actually the simplest shit. Like
Like what?
we're I work with a lot of creators, and like I'll ask them to submit a form, like a quick video that takes maybe like 10 or 20 seconds to make. And like if they're reluctant to do that, that instantly makes me understand if they're going to be an easy creator to work with or not. Like that's something. Or like, hey, can you, if I'm already paying you, like, you know, can you write this document? Or like, can you do this thing for me? And like if they just don't follow through on that simple thing, I think it's a clear sign that they're not the right fit.
When you realize someone is not the right fit, how quickly do you move on from them? Be honest. A lot of people say, "Oh, as soon as you find out, you got to move on." What, like, do you struggle with that? Like, what does that look like?
If I know someone's not the right fit, I'm very blunt. Like to the point where I'm like a little bit autistic, like where I I, I apologize. I'm like
No, no.
I'm very like you just gotta go. Like like not you gotta go, but like I have to say it. It's like I have it on my chest. I have to I have to say
You,
something.
you have to say something. You have to be honest. I feel the same thing. What if they're like, I don't want to go, or I'm not
Oh,
ready.
I haven't I feel like that's like I don't want things to end like in relationship. Like the band-aid's already off. Like it's done. Like even relationships I'm like once something's on the wall, like it's like I gotta act. I'm very quick to act because I don't like letting things fester. Because then if you let things fester, you start resenting them. Like it starts coming out through different ways, and like I think it's better just be clear and direct and just like say it like it is. Don't
So
be
true. So true. I struggle with that a lot. You know, I've always tried to,
It's tough.
yeah, because you're going to upset people. And so you have to kind of just get around that fact that people are not going to be happy. And that's just part of it, you know?
Yeah.
And then that kind of makes it better because it's like they're not going to be happy either way. So we may as well do it now, you
I
know?
mean, you're just
Um,
human.
you're just human.
You're just
You,
human.
you broke down your 20s into two eras. You said 21 to 26 is for fucking up and laying your foundation, but 27 to 29 is when your dreams begin to be realized. What was kind of, some of those negatives that you had to go through in order to get to this point?
I mean, I worked a few jobs out of college that I hated. Um, I kind of was in like the not rat race, but like, I went the standard path of like getting a job after college and then like parlaying that into a startup and like thinking, oh, this is sick. But then I was like, oh, wow, this actually sucks. Um, like, at the same time, I was also building, I've always been building something. Like from like even my internship, I would go into like a side room when I was working at Fidelity Investments as an intern. I was like building an app. Like that's always how I've ran. I've always taken it more safe from that side, where I've always had side projects, and then I would like see where they would go, and then yeah, I mean, Noct was the first thing where I kind of went all in, and that was like the catalyst to everything else that happened afterwards. Where
What made you go all in on Noct versus other projects?
I think I had the intuition that this was the thing, and that the writing was on the wall that I needed to stop taking it so safe. Um, yeah, I think I've always had like a 9 to 5 job, like up until like 2 years ago. I had, or maybe a year ago. Yeah, I had a nine to five, and I just I knew it wasn't the path I wanted, and I think I had enough of inclination that things were working. Well, things were working enough financially where I could just I could just do it. Like it wasn't worst case. I have to move home, like, and just figure it out for a few months. But best case, like, this works out or something else works out. And like, it's not even delusion. I think it's just having the inner belief that everything will work out. And like, if you just show up, do the right things, or not do the right things, just put yourself in the right place to meet the right people. It's over. It's just gonna work out.
Yeah, it almost starts to be a little bit easier than you had thought. I think when you're younger, you think it's like impossible. Like the way people talk about entrepreneurship and success, it's like you got to work really hard for a really long time, and you got to get lucky, and you got to. It's just like,
I mean, you do.
well, you do, but if you do that, then it works out. You know what I mean? Like there's like this idea that like businesses fail like a ton. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I started the other side where my first business slash side project was like a hardware software project. And I thought I was going to be the next like Steve Jobs building that. And then it just shit the fan. And then that was like a good humbling experience to like parlay into something that's a lot easier to build. And then from there, I was able to get more momentum. The next thing I was like, okay, now I can build this. Then I was like, okay, let's build in software. Let's do this. And then everything's kind of like compounding over time where like building a product's just easy now. And now it's like the next challenge or problem is like building distribution. And now that's becoming even easier now. And like everything's just kind of compounding over time, but you have to grind glass within your mouth or eat glass, and just it's the growing pains.
you think
But
fitness has made that easier for you? Like being able to do really hard things and seeing how day in, day out it gets you to the goal that you want.
definitely, I think I'm a pure masochist, and I think a lot of like entrepreneurs, you kind of have to be a masochist. I uh I was a rower in high school and college, and that just kind of like, if you ever been on a concept two erg or rower, that's, it's just pure pain. Um, but it's also the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, and I love it. I love this game. Like it's who I am.
Why is why is it beautiful if it's so hard? Like what part of that do you really enjoy?
There's beauty in willing to sacrifice so much time and energy towards building something, and to see it turn into something like flourishing and successful is like such an imaginary, like imaginative thing, where you're taking something from nothing, like a child or like a baby, and like you're giving it food, you're giving it water, and like you're giving it the proper nourishment to grow and to build, to be someone or be something. And you know, it's hard, but life is hard. And I like, you know, like resilience is everything, and the way you show up for anything is the way you show up for everything. And you know, I think rowing, triathlons, it's very similar to entrepreneurship, where like you're grinding it out, pushing yourself, and you're seeing the progress. It's more linear versus entrepreneurship. Um, so yeah,
It
it's
is a lot. It is a lot more linear. Entrepreneurship, you know, people talk about the valley of despair, but the valley of despair actually occurs quite a few times. You know what I mean? It's not like a single little graph where everything's confined, or like, you know, fitness, I guess you can kind of feel this in fitness. You might have like an off week or something where you need more rest, but fitness is relatively straight with like slight things. Entrepreneurship will go under the x-axis and it might stay there for a little while or a year or whatever. And you know, it is a very different experience, but it, you know, life is hard. And I think one of the best benefits of fitness, this is personally why I love to backpack, go to the mountains and just do really hard stuff for a week out of the year. I would do it more, but I can't yet. Full disclosure. Um, but if you don't do extremely hard things like that, life is actually fairly difficult, because when you're like, if you're in life and something happens, call doesn't go through, you have to fire someone, like whatever it is, it seems very difficult until you've done something that's just far more difficult, where you're actually trying to fight for survival, or you know, you don't have a lot of food or whatever it is. It's like, oh, like I feel like, you know, but it kind of feels good. It's kind of a masochist thing. You're right. You're
it
right.
becomes pure primal at some point.
Pure primal. I love it. So, so when you think about distribution now, um, a lot of people ask me about clippers now. Do you think clippers are viable for growing a D2C CPG brand, or do you think it's like organic UGC? I'll give you an example. Neurogum. Um, I like Ketone IQ. Their founder liked Neurogum's TikTok shop strategy, which was clipping, like their Shark Tank episodes and stuff like that, and mass distributing them. However, in my mind, that was done by TikTok shop and UGC creators that
Yeah.
understood viral moments and how to harness them. And then it kind of came out in the format of a clip. But it's to me, it was very different than like clipping like a long form video and just posting that. You know what I mean? Have you thought about clipping at all, or are you just doing organic?
Um, well, the way I think about clipping versus the way you're talking about it, I think it's, maybe clipping was originally, as you said, from YouTube long form, but that's just the TikTok shop version's just like guys taking clips and editing it in a video. Clippers is like a mass distribution, like what you see with Clavicular,
Collab.
yeah, or any of these major streamers like Kai Cena, iShow Speed. Um, there's these like guys in India and Eastern Europe that are generating like, they're making like 50K a month, like some probably 100K a month off just like mass distributed clips based on campaigns that are being ran.
So how
So
does
like,
that work? Like someone listening to this that doesn't understand it, where are they making 50K from?
Um, there's a lot of places. Affiliate Network is one. You should definitely check that spot out. They're probably like the biggest clipping community. They also have some really good botting mechanisms so that if a brand wants to do a campaign, they
They can
uh
tell.
they can tell. Versus Concert Rewards has really shitty botting capabilities, which everyone I hear that uses them, they say it's horrible. Plus, most of the campaigns on there just like don't get their budget spent, so like people aren't actually going on to the campaign because it's self service versus affiliate networks more like catered to the campaign, so that
Dude,
they make sure it actually gets spent.
WAP gave me clients for the old content reward system,
Yeah,
and the botting was so bad that I was trying to fix it and mitigate it, and these clients were getting pissed at me instead of WAP. I was like, "This is WAP software, by the way. Like, I had nothing to do with this," and I stopped. That was like when I knew I'm done with the agency thing. I need to build my own platform.
yeah. If you're kind of like fighting an uphill battle at that point.
Can't beat it. You can't. You're not in charge of product. That's the issue with an
Yeah,
agency.
totally, totally. Um, yeah.
Yeah, love it. Um, so what are you looking to do the rest of this year in terms of what you're trying to build, what you're trying to accomplish? You have personal goals. How does that look?
Scale, scale, scale. That's pretty much it.
Just
Um,
gas pedal.
just like full gas. I past few summers I did Euro summers. I'm taking a break and I'm locked in the summer. So
Me as
I'll just
well.
go
Me
home
as
to
well.
yeah, I'll just go home to Connecticut or something. I just need a lot of really good things are going on right now, so I just need to lock in for the next 6 months.
I mean, the way technology is going, like it just you have to lock in for the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely
Generational
next
wealth
few
is
years.
happening. I'm 27, so I've kind of given myself 3 years. Obviously, I'll do stuff in between, but my timeline is, you know, the world's going to be very different. I think in 3 years, could be wrong, but the way
Yeah.
technology is going, I mean, do you think we're going to get access to Fable 5 again, or what? Or is that just we no longer get the top models anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was more of a political thing than anything else.
Demonstration kind of thing.
Yeah, I think, well, Trump and everyone in office, like they don't like Claude. They don't like Anthropic. Like they're very for the people, anti-government. They're complying in certain ways, but I just don't think they're on the good side with the government versus ChatGPT is a lot more compliant. Obviously Palantir is more compliant. Um they're very pro America. So yeah, I think it was just more of like like a power play on that part. I don't think there was anything that crazy. Maybe there was something crazy, but like there's so many other models out there like that people are taking advantage of and can hack into or like over or like patch through with just the right prompting.
I heard that they had sent like they stopped sending Dario into the White House to have those negotiations because they didn't like, having those conversations with him. They sent in the
Yeah.
co-founder Tom.
Yeah.
Um and so that's kind of funny.
It's
Happens.
it's just it's a game. It's all a game.
Status game all the way up to the top. Um well, Lucas, thank you for hopping on. Where can people find you and talk more with you and learn about your products?
Um I yap on Twitter. Hazan0608. That's HAZAN
Is
0608.
that how you say your last name?
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but you know, it's
Dude,
Hazan.
I've told everyone I've ever talked to about you.
Hazan.
Hazen?
It's Hazen, but Hazan is like it's all the same shit. Say it how you want.
I will never. I disagree. I think it's your name. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say it wrong like that.
Hazan. Yeah, it's Mediterranean.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have a friend, Brian. His last name is Delmata, right? But it's
Delmato?
Delmata. It's
Uh-huh.
Delimata. So I kind of was like joking around, calling him De La Mata, and he's like, yeah, it's Delmata.
No.
And I was like, I knew him for like 2 years, bro. He said nothing. And I was like,
Yeah.
and his girlfriend finally, like, you know, she hung out with us. She's like, did you say, I was like, well, is it not? I don't know. So I feel bad. I want to be corrected, you know, if I say it wrong.
I
That's
had a
crazy.
I had a girl a girl I was dating for 4 months. The first 4 months I was saying her first name incorrectly. She didn't correct me till 4 months in. So, you know, people are weird. People are like that.
Dude, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Anyways, thank you for joining. This has been episode 20, I believe,
Hell yeah.
of Content Economy. Talk to you later.
All right. Good